Imagine if there was a place you could travel to that would teleport you into your favorite fantasy movie. Sure, you could go to the Renaissance Festival, but you might still see spectators in modern clothing, and then you'd remember that you're in the 21st century, not a fairy tale. I actually discovered a place where movies come to life like this, and you might be surprised to hear that it's not a Hollywood set or an amusement park. It's an underground event hosted on farmlands in the middle of Minnesota. This underground Renaissance Festival wasn't created to turn a profit either. These people simply get together for the fun of dressing up. This is William Swift, a Minneapolis-based costume collector and stylist and the mastermind behind these events. Using his collection of over 2,000 costumes, he envisioned, planned, and executed this magical spectacle. I had to see this with my own eyes, so I got on a plane and headed to Minneapolis, Minnesota to learn more about how this whole thing came together. Once I got to Minneapolis, William invited me to his home, which he has transformed into a costume rental shop. And when I walked through the front doors, I was shocked to find out that it's also somewhat of a museum. Where some people might have a kitchen table or a couch, William instead has real movie props and costumes that he's accumulated over the years.
Does it make eating dinner difficult?
No, and that's the thing, that's what I was getting to is, so we had a table in here and no one would ever eat down here.
Oh yeah.
Then William took me to the basement where he stores his costume rentals.
So I have around 2,500 individual pieces.
Wow. How did this happen? How did you decide that you were gonna fill your basement with 2,500 costumes?
That's a good question. Well, so I was working retail for a very long time, and I just wasn't happy. I'm a very creative person, and I think, working a corporate job was really hard. I don't know, I ended up going to the Renaissance Festival for the first time, just completely blown away by the fact that there's this whole, essentially this whole town full of just random, people who dress in these amazing outfits, and I go almost every weekend, and I would go with friends and stuff, and I had eventually gotten enough stuff for myself to kind of do a character for myself, but the issue was that I started looking so good, and then I would have my friends with me, and they would just be in jeans and a t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
And that's no fun, right?
They're no, you got to be an entourage.
You got to be an entourage,
yeah.
Right? So eventually I started collecting pieces not for me, and
then it grew.
And it just kind of grew and became this huge juggernaut of a thing.
During a tour of his costume-filled home, William shared a story about growing up in the foster care system and how it inspired his visionary imagination.
My life wasn't easy growing up, and the way that I kind of dealt with that was watching films and reading books and escaping into all these different fantasy worlds. So when I was 14 or 15, I kind of, decided if I ever do get out of this, if I ever survive this, I really want to, pay homage to these worlds and these characters and these creators and artists who helped me kind of become me and also help me kind of stay me and kind of survive and whatnot.
Today, people all around the world like to roleplay as historical and fantasy characters. Many attend events like Renaissance fairs, historical reenactments, and live-action role-playing games, aka LARPing. I asked William if he would compare his events to LARPing, and he said no. In LARPing, people still dress up and roleplay as fantasy characters, but LARPing typically involves a gaming framework that includes rules, goals, and storylines the players compete and play through together. It's closer to a sport or a tabletop game like Dungeons & Dragons. Renaissance festivals are also common across the world. These outdoor gatherings are typically set during medieval times and include actors and attendees dressed in character. William says his festival is different because it's not a business. It's just a group of friends that like to dress up.
I think for me there wasn't enough costume events that people could go to. You have the Ren Fair, you have Halloween, and I've always kind of been curious about what something would be like if everyone was in costume. If you know, if everyone that you saw around you was in costume, what would that feel like and what would that be like?
This whole journey started in 2019. After attending the Renaissance Festival for years, Will had the idea of creating a fantasy photo shoot of his own.
Do you remember who the first person you told the idea to?
I think it was Magenta Bloom. She kind of encouraged me to do them.
How did you describe it to her?
I kind of just, you know, expressed interest, like, hey, like, I want to go and get people dressed up and I want to go and do like a photo shoot.
Then in 2020, the Minnesota Renaissance Festival closed its doors due to the coronavirus pandemic. This left many people in the community without a place to escape into fantasy. So when the gathering restrictions started to ease up in 2021, Will thought he could expand his photo shoot into more of a large event.
It just got better from there, and just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It went from 20 people to 250 people.
I really wasn't sure what we were doing.
Yeah.
I just knew there were a lot of people in fabulous outfits and photographers and people posing left and right, and I'm just like, okay.
So you had 5 farms.
We had 5 neighboring farms, yeah.
Food trucks.
Food trucks. You know, when people hear about it, they think it's just like a photo shoot.
Yeah.
They don't get that it's way more than that. It's a whole experience. Because, you know, you have the music, you have all the costumes, you have the animals, you have all of these extra layers to it than just that. And it's
almost like you're not just making a movie, it's like you're being in the movie.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to believe that these events aren't big Hollywood productions, especially when you see dozens of people on horseback in authentic costumes charging down a field. Will says that's thanks to Robin and Faith. When the two of them heard of Will's events, they agreed to bring their horses and even train others on how to ride.
We actually went to 3 riding schools so that we were familiar with the horses. They knew that we could ride and how well or not well we could ride.
Will has a true talent for styling people in fantasy dress. It's a huge part of what elevates these events to feel like big budget movie sets.
It's like for me going to a fashion show, but it's just en masse and it's outside.
Yeah. William, would you style me in something?
Sure.
What's this?
This is a little pirate sash. Sometimes it's all about adding all of these just random things to an outfit to make it really kind of stand out.
Where do you get a sword belt?
I think I got this from Goodwill of all places.
No way.
Yeah, I get my things from all over the place. Bada bing, bada boom.
I love the accessories.
Yeah.
Do you like dressing up yourself more or dressing up other people more?
Other people, I think, because
Really?
it pushes my, you know, creativity to its max, right? You know.
On my last day in town, the group got together for a mini event, and I went to Will's house to hang out with everyone while they got dressed up for the day.
We're gonna cover this. It's fine. Is anyone in here? No. You want to look in the mirror and see what you think? Ask the mirror on the wall.
Meet Chris Wester, a regular FenFest attendee that got into cosplay as an adult, and is famous for his recreation of The Witcher.
Will does such a great job as the event commander, you know?
Yeah.
What is he really doing? It's a chance just to, you know, step away from who you are in real life and just, you know, dress up, pretend to be a princess, a warrior, a knight for a day.
How does Will get all these people to just do this for the fun of it?
I don't know. Charisma? You know, I never really ever considered the idea of playing dress up, you know, for a day or whatever. And if you had asked me, you know, 5 years ago, hey, do you want to go play dress up with this guy, Will? I'd been like, I think I'm gonna pass. And it's really a testament to the fact that he has spun this spider web of friendships and relationships and this support group that for him has become huge.
The community surrounding Will's events has been growing, but because the events take so much time and effort, Will's not sure how many more events he wants to put on.
it feels almost like I didn't do them just because like they were so grand in scale. It's hard to believe that like I pulled all of that off.
The people that I spoke to hope that Will's events keep going into the future. Many have told me that they just don't want to see the magic end. History lovers, I want to tell you about a new series by PBS called The Bigger Picture. Hosted by Professor Vincent Brown, it examines famous photographs and explores the historical context around them. In doing so, we reveal what these photos can tell us about our history, but also how we view ourselves. Check out the link in the description, and don't forget to tell them that Subcultured sent you.